Hey, what's up guys? Shant Janessian here with My Home Group. So yes, today I'm here in my home office. I'll be doing a lot more videos here. And today we're going to talk about how me and my client got a house for 33% off of list price. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but it did happen, and I'm going to break you down the whole process, what happened, how we did it, and all that fun stuff. But before we get into that, I would really appreciate if you guys would subscribe to my channel. I'm just here to try to give you guys some real estate content, how you get better deals, what you could do, and all that fun stuff, and just about life here in Phoenix, Arizona. I got to walk you guys through the whole deal, what happened, how it happened. So first off, the house was listed at $520,000. Originally, that's what it was listed at, okay? We got it at $345,000. So it's about 33% for all you math people out there. It's around 32 to 34%, not really sure. So big gap, about $175,000 off. Now, how do we do that, okay? First off, let's talk about the house and the location. The house was in Phoenix. It's a newly built house, okay? Newly built, new construction house in an older neighborhood, okay? It's not, how do I say it so nicely? It's not in one of the nicest areas in Phoenix. It's kind of like an up and coming area, but it hasn't really came there yet. So it's still in the process of getting gentrified, as you know, some people like to call it. So that was good, right? So it was in an area listed very high, listed more than comps, but they listed it because a couple of streets over, if you go up north like about half a mile, houses were selling in the high fours, low fives. So they thought they could get away with it because, you know, they were just a little bit more south. But as south you go in that area, it gets a little worse and worse. So that was in our favor from the beginning. Second, the house was listed for a long period of time. They kept dropping the price. So this was kind of their, I guess, I don't want to say mistake, but this was kind of good for us, right? It's how we were able to get it. So they kept reducing the price, and we've seen the house on the market a while back, but we were kind of patient. Like, all right, you know, let's just see what happens, because it was still over his budget or whatever that he really wanted to spend. So that's tip number one. If you're trying to get a sick deal, you gotta be patient. You just have to be patient. If it's newly on the market and it's a $520,000 listing and you offer 300, it's not going to happen, okay? So if the house gets sold but it's a sick deal you want, you're just going to have to deal with it. And it happened with us a couple times where he wanted a house, but I'm like, hey, if you want a sick deal, we waited and it sold for higher than what we could have gotten it for. So it is what it is. So that's number one, was you got to be patient, okay? Second, so when we got to the house and we saw it was in the low 400s, I believe, listed at, so they've really started reducing the price. So how I usually play these situations, right, and I haven't done this many times, going that super far off list price, that's kind of crazy, right? So first thing first, you go check out the property, your client he liked it, blah blah blah, so we're like, all right, let's put in an offer. But we were patient. First thing I did is I called the agent, told her, hey, my client is interested, we're kind of talking numbers. We waited a day or two before we actually submitted anything, right? So that's another thing. Tip number two, call the agent, have a conversation, a nice conversation with the agent, be friendly, be nice, and say, hey, my client's interested, we're kind of going back and forth on numbers, what are your thoughts, and so on. She thought it was priced well at this point and it's ready to sell. It's been on the market for a long time, okay? So we're like, okay, so me and my client spoke about it, and he's like, let's go in with a $310,000 offer, right? so that was kind of low, even for what it was listed at, but I'm like, all right, let's give it a shot. I called the agent. Before I submitted the offer, I told her, hey, listen, so this is key right here, so pay attention. Called the agent and told her, hey, listen, we're gonna be submitting an offer, okay? It's not going to be what you guys probably want, so don't take offense to it, but my client is interested, he's a strong qualified buyer, and he does want the house. Okay, so now I set her up, not set her up in a negative way, but I told her, hey, listen, the offer's not good, but my buyer's good, so let's work this out. Sent in the offer, She called me right away. She starts laughing. She's like, dude, are you serious? I was like, listen, I know the offer's low, but talk to your client. Let's work something out. She's like, he's not gonna take anything. I'm like, listen, my client wants the house. Your client wants to sell it. Your seller just built the house. They have costs. They have to get rid of the house. Let's figure this out. I gotta get my client in the house. He needs to move in. They need to sell. Let's get this going. She comes back to me with a $380,000 number or something like. She's like, hey, listen, we can do 380, but that's it. Talk to my client. We're like, nope. Our high end was like 350 that he wanted to go for this property because he knew it's a gamble. It's a long-term gamble. He has to hold it for a while before he could see the equity really build up in this area. And a funny thing, there's actually a convenience / liquor store right in front of his house. So that's bad for, eye appeal, appreciation later on, something like that. But, he's willing to take it on. Talk to my client. My client's like, tell him verbally, we'll go up to 330. 330. Call her. I said, hey, listen, this is the best I could do. This is his max. This is what we're doing. 330. Listen, I know it's a lot more. Like, you guys came down, we came up a little bit. It's not what you guys want, but this is a real offer, and I mean, this is kind of his max. So we waited. She calls me back and she's like, hey, listen, we're able to do at 345. We were like, I called my client. I'm like, hey, they're going to do 345. Your max was 350, 355. What do you think? He's like, well, do you think we could keep pushing? And I was like, listen, man, I'm willing to push as much as the next person, but let's get that. we got the house, 345. Lock it in, man. He's like, yeah, man, accept, let's go. But we're like, she was like, hey, we're not doing anything. We are not touching anything. It's a brand new house anyway. Not much is going to go wrong, right? You would think, right? So not much will go wrong. So we said, okay, we'll take it as is, blah, blah, blah. Next day we go in, do inspections. We see the house was flooded a little bit. There was water stains all across the baseboards. The carpets were all wet. So we're just like, so we got it taken care of. There was like a water spillage from carpet cleaners. We had plumbers out. We had contractors out. We looked at everything. Everything was fine. Everything's good. So they kind of cleaned up the water damage and stuff. So they were very nice about it. But that just goes to show, guys, just because the house is superly overlisted and over budget, like, over your budget, doesn't mean you can't get it. Now, you're not going to always get 33% off list price, but be patient. Run comps. We ran comps, and I really did not see a $500,000 house. I saw it in the 300s, right? And the house actually appraised for 380, I believe so. Yeah, 380-ish. So we got it for a good deal. My client now is excited. He's moved in. He's super just pumped that we got a sick deal. He's telling all his friends, and just excited for him that he's gonna eventually, the house will be worth $500,000. It's just a matter of a couple of years of holding it out. And yeah, so we got a good deal. I hope this video helps you guys. If you have any questions about negotiating some real estate deals, please let me know. I'm always here to help. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.